Okay? Verse 49. Nana Veder. Sorry? Yeah, we're jumping. We covered the other ones before. Nana Veder Amrita Sara Rasaya Naistai Krishna Prasada Militer Iha Bojapeye. Ha Kunkumangi Lalitari Saki Britatvam Yatnan Maya Kimutaram Upabojaniya. We talked about this verse from the angle of Kukumangi. In each verse, most of the verses, Raghunath describes Radhika by some special adjective describing some of her glories. So in this verse, he calls her Kunkumangi, whose limbs are covered in kumkum. Gurudev says that the whole of the Bhagavatam, the whole of Govinda Lilamrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita can be relished by this word Kunkumangi. It's a very wonderful, sweet word. This means all her limbs are covered with kumkum, which represents anurag, and this comes on the feet of Krishna. And then also Krishna decorates the feet of Radhika and places it on his forehead, on his chest, and feels like his life is successful. So this is Kunkumangi. So this verse is glorifying Maha-prasada. Raghunath is praying that as Tulsi Manjari, he's already said, I will go to Nanda Bhavan with sweets in the evening time, and then Yashoda will welcome me, feed these to Krishna, and then we'll bring Krishna's remnants back. So when I bring back Krishna's remnants, I will give it to Srimati Radhika, and she will give it to the Sakhis, and they will all take together. So now we're going to hear a little bit about the glories of Maha-prasada. We talked about this a bit before, but we're going to talk from a different angle, which is very relishable. So the glories of Maha-prasada will be understood according to your level of development in bhakti. Otherwise, an ordinary person will take rice, dal, and these things and think, okay, it's some ordinary foodstuffs. Even then, it will give some nourishment and some feeling of purification compared to what you eat outside. Even ordinary people can feel the difference. But if you really want to relish the subtle bhakti in it, then you have to have bhakti yourself. So then Gurudev describes how Mahaprabhu would take prasadam. So who is Mahaprabhu? When Krishna was in Braj, he is God himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was witnessing how much enjoyment and how much ecstasy the gopis, especially Srimati Radhika, felt when taking his prasadam, or when thinking about him, when talking about him, when meeting with him. Krishna is the ocean of pleasure, the ocean of all rasa, and the reservoir of all pleasure. Prabhupada wrote a book like that. So it is said, like sugar, how can sugar taste itself? So Krishna is Ananda, Anandamaya Bhyasat. Krishna is the very personification of bliss, Ananda. And he's also relishing bliss. What bliss does Krishna relish? The prem of his devotees. He's only eager to taste the prem of his devotees, which is a transformation of Ladini Shakti, Srimati Radhika's pleasure potency. But Krishna sees that the gopis, and especially Radhika, are experiencing a bliss beyond my comprehension, beyond what I can relish or fathom even. So he becomes eager to taste that. Because being God himself, that's the speciality of being a devotee, is we get to relish the beauty of the Lord, the sweetness of the Lord, that he himself cannot experience as God himself. Krishna is Vishaya Tattva. He is the beloved, the enjoyer. But when you are serving the beloved, who's the Supreme Personality, that sweetness that you experience, that taste you experience, Krishna himself cannot taste that. So that's why Krishna prays to Srimati Radhika that, oh, in my next incarnation, I want to imbibe your moods and your complexion, your kanti, Gaura kanti, and I want to come into the world and be a devotee. So that way I can relish this ras. So therefore Krishna came as Mahaprabhu. Radhaya pranaya mahima kidri sovanayava sokyam chastya. He wanted to taste what is that sweetness and happiness Radhika tastes. That is my own beauty. Krishna's own beauty, God's own beauty. How can you taste that if you're in the mood of being God? Or even if you are God? So when Krishna takes Radhika's mood and complexion, he becomes his own devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he takes Krishna's prasadam, he becomes overwhelmed in the bliss, in the mood of Srimati Radhika. So Gurudev describes Mahaprabhu's moods when he takes prasad and shows how it's related to this verse in how Srimati Radhika relishes Krishna prasad. So one time Gopinath Acharya, when Mahaprabhu was in Puri in the beginning, then Gopinath Acharya, who is one of the main priests of the king, brought Jagannath prasad, enough for all the devotees. And Mahaprabhu with his own hand began to distribute this prasadam. But he saw that no one was eating. So he asked Swarup and the others, why isn't anyone eating? They said, "Oh Lord, if you are not yourself not taking, then how will they take? They will only take after you have taken." So hearing that, finally Mahaprabhu sat down and began to take prasad. And he was sitting with Swarup Damodar, Roy Ramananda, and others who are Lalita Vishaka. So Mahaprabhu tasted some morsels of this prasad, that is Jagannath prasad. And Mahaprabhu did not see that Jagannath is like Vishnu or Dwarkadish or just like some murti. He said, "Vigraha natumi, you are not a deity, you are Shakshat Brajendranandan, Krishna himself." So tasting this prasad, he became overwhelmed with Mahabhav. And then he began to speak to Swarup and Raya Ramananda in exactly the same mood as Radhika. So he was finally able to directly experience the mood that Radhika had when she was taking Maha-prasadam. So that's connected to this verse, because in this verse, Radhika is taking Krishna's Adaramrita. Krishna himself tastes the prasadam in Nandagaon, and then he takes some, like he'll pretend it's bitter, and he'll put it back on his plate, and afterwards he'll give it to Dhanishta. And Dhanishta will give it to Tulsi Manjari, who will bring it back and give it to Radharani. Because Radharani wants to taste what's directly tasted by Krishna. So Krishna cannot taste that happiness of cooking for the beloved and then taking his remnants as Krishna. Radhika is cooking for her beloved, and there's more pleasure in that than just eating. Especially when you're cooking and then giving, serving, and then taking the remnants of the beloved. When Mahaprabhu tastes this, he becomes overwhelmed and he thinks, where can I find Krishna? And he begins, this is a very amazing pastime because it's Krishna looking for himself. But he's in the mood of his beloved Srimati Radhika. So this is like one of the most intricate and confidential pastimes, because this is Krishna himself searching for himself in the mood of Srimati Radhika. Where can I find Brajendranandan? He sings, "Kaha jao, kaha pao, Brajendranandan, Brajendranandan mon, fate moraman." If I cannot find him, then I will give up my life. And in the Gambhira, in a very small room, with great austerity he was staying. He could not even stand up or lay down fully. His room was like a small little cave. And in that small room at night, he would be scratching his head against the wall and bleeding in the agony of separation from Krishna. Every day, Swarup Damodar and Raya Ramananda would come. And then Govinda Prabhu, the Sevak of Mahaprabhu, would say, "You should not come, because when you come, Mahaprabhu becomes more and more absorbed in separation. At night, he is scratching his face against the wall. He's crying out all night, never sleeping." And Govinda, being the Sevak, feels great lamentation and says, "Oh, you should not come." And then one day, Swarup and Ramananda Roy did not come. Mahaprabhu said, where is Swarup? Where is Raya Ramananda? Without them, I will give up my life. And so the next day, he called them back. So Mahaprabhu was experiencing the same mood of Radharani, saying, "Oh, taking Krishna's Mahaprasad, this is Krishna's direct uchista, Krishna's own direct remnants." So Gurudev says that if we don't have bhakti, then we'll think this is just ordinary foodstuffs. But when we have bhakti, we're tasting directly, Krishna has tasted this and given it to us. So that for them, they will never think of taking things which are unoffered, because they only subsist on Krishna's prasad. Their only nourishment is coming from Krishna prasad, so they don't want anything else. So now Radhika in Java, taking Krishna's remnants, she says, "Oh, taking Krishna's remnants, it's so powerful that one gives up all kinds of lajja, shyness, all kinds of fear of what society will say, all kinds of Arya Dharma and everything, and is ready to run to Krishna." At that time, the gopis don't think, are our parents watching? Is anyone else looking at us? In front of everyone, they'll run to Krishna, because the Adaramrita gives the awakening of anurag for Krishna. When you taste, this is directly from Krishna's own lips, his own tongue. So this is especially for the lover or the beloved, to taste the beloved's remnants. It's like directly having the kiss from the beloved. And then, because you're also separated, so it's milan and separation together. So taking prasad, it's one of the only pastimes where you get meeting and separation together, because you're tasting Krishna himself. Krishna and Krishna prasad is non-different. Anything that comes in contact with the transcendental entity becomes transcendental like he himself. So you're tasting Krishna prasad and you feel like Krishna is directly within and without me. I'm tasting it, Krishna is within me. But then I'm looking out and Krishna is not there. And so separation becomes like a blazing fire. And they think this fire of separation burns through all kinds of shyness, all kinds of hesitation. That we think, oh, any like man may be there, or I don't want to go to Krishna, or any hesitation may be there, any shyness may be there, any kind of mood that, oh, I'll go later. It burns through everything, and one just is ready to run to Krishna. And if they cannot find Krishna, they become completely mad. So that's why Mahaprabhu in the Gambhira Sometimes he would break out of his room, even though they would put locks on the different walls and the doors. There would be 7 doorways locked. And then in the morning, they would see Mahaprabhu is gone. He would break through all kinds of barriers, just like the gopis. Even when the husbands and family members tried to hold them back, the gopis could not be held back, and they ran to Krishna in the Ras Leela. Even when their husbands caught some of the gopis, they were so eager to meet with Krishna that they even gave up their bodies and went to see Krishna. So Mahaprabhu, tasting Krishna Prasad in the mood of Radhika, even though there were 7 locked gates in Gambhira, he would escape from everything, and then they would all go and search for him. Sometimes they would find him like contracted into a ball, and cows would be licking him. All his joints would contract. Sometimes they would find him with all his joints elongated, and he would be 21 meters or 21 feet long. So this is the effect of Maha-prasadam. That Krishna is I'm directly tasting Krishna, and yet, where is Krishna? And they're running to find him. And at that time, they give up everything. All kind of Arya Dharma, all kind of moods of chastity, anything that's holding you back. So then Radhika talks to Lalita Vishaka, and Mahaprabhu says this to Swarup and Raya Ramananda. So Mahaprabhu is in the role of Radhika, and Lalita and Vishaka are as Swarup and Raya Ramananda. So Mahaprabhu then says, and Radhika says, oh, Prem is such a wonderful thing that taking or tasting it, everything becomes vivarta. Vivarta means contrary or opposite to its natural nature. Where the Jamuna is flowing one way, she will flow the other way and make whirlpools. So when we take Krishna Prasad, even something like the flute, which is male, is always relishing Krishna's Adaramrita. And so the gopis develop this mood of jealousy towards the flute. And they see Krishna playing the flute, and then they start having a dialogue with the flute. And so Radhika speaks to the flute, oh flute, you are so arrogant, you are showing us so much pride, that there you are in Krishna's hands, drinking the nectar of his lips incessantly. And yet you are male. Because in Sanskrit, all words have some gender. Like the river is female, but the flute is male. Venu is a male word. So the gopis think of the flute as like a male. And they say, just look, by Prem Vivarta, you are kissing Krishna. And they become very jealous. And then they think like the flute is talking back to them. So the flute is there, and he's very puffed up, very proud. And he's saying, even though the gopis think this is my rightful position, that we are gopis and you are gopa, so naturally we should be together. But who is this flute coming and taking our position? And so the flute says, if you want this position, you'll have to give up everything. You'll have to be ready to give up all your shyness, everything, and run and come. And then you can become qualified for Krishna. So that's why during the Rasa dance, the gopis left everything. Arya patam chahitva beje mukunda paravim shrutivim brahmigyam. That Krishna who is being searched for by all the Shrutis, by all the Sastras, by all the sages, they're all searching for Krishna for eons and ages, but still they cannot find Krishna. But that Krishna was obtained only by the gopis who left everything for him. So this is the transcendental effect of taking Krishna Prasadam. So that's why every day we take Krishna Prasad. But if we don't have faith in Krishna Prasad, then Maha-prasade Govinde Nama Brahmini Vaishnave Svalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Na Vijayate. Then we are very unfortunate if we do not have faith in Maha-prasad. We see that if Maha-prasad comes, you should give up everything and take that Maha-prasad. If Jagannath Prasad comes, you should not say, oh, I have not taken bath, I have not done my anik. Immediately you honor it and you offer pranam. This is Sakshat Parabrahma. It's directly the Supreme Lord. So these are some of the glories of Maha-prasad. Okay, next verse. Radha, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel down there. Share with your friends, ask a question in the comments, and check out our website, kripa.tv, for courses, to support us, and for our articles and more. Haribo.